Pooja. Okay, that's wonderful. So today's session for all of you who are working from home, it's about understanding the policy that we have at Infinix, the policy on work from home. So we're going to talk about the guidelines, and this forum is also open for you to ask any questions, to clarify your doubts, etc. Okay, do we all have that agenda in mind? If that's fine, just put a chat yes in the chat box. And we are going to conduct a number of these training series for all the employees who are working from home. And this will be done by HCPs and L&OD team. Today is the first session that we are having. So let's understand that any forward moving organization will have contemporary policies like something that we have, which is called work from home. And there are reasons why this policy is there. And some of the reasons are put up on the slide, as you can see. Obviously, the main one is that it enables the organization to get good talent and best talent from anywhere across the country. Some of you all may be working in places where we don't have Infinix offices, and that's why probably there are also, we have this policy to get good talent wherever we don't have offices as well. The purpose of work from home is multiple. So besides getting good talent, it's also to enable people to save their time in commuting, in traveling, provides some kind of flexibility because you are at a place which you are comfortable with at your own home. And for the organization, we also look at optimizing resources as we are growing at a very fast pace. We have more people joining us, and we are using our resources in the best possible way, where we have some employees coming to office and some employees working from home. Now, this is the broad purpose of having a policy in Infinix, but of course, it's not possible for everyone to be covered under the work from home policy. Hence, we have an eligibility criteria as well. And that criteria has, the organization has looked at the best possible ways on how to decide who should be working from home. So the next slide talks about the eligibility for the work from home policy. First, let's look at operations. All those who are in operations and below supervisory levels, they have we have looked at them for this policy. We've also looked at employees in the product teams, and very important is to look at the nature of work, the work that may not require too much of supervision, or the work that can completely be done by an employee working from home. So those kinds of works and departments are also covered. An important aspect of eligibility is that we are looking at performance as well. So those who have got P3 performance or 80% plus performance are eligible and come under this policy. An important part is also to look at whether people who are working from home have the right infrastructure in terms of your Wi-Fi connection, in terms of a good space to work, which is non-distracting. So these are what we look at in terms of continuous flow of electricity. If all these are in place, then the organization also can look at in those instances. While these are the eligibility criteria, there are certain exceptions to the cases. So some cases and support functions on a case-to-case basis are also looked at, and all this is under business discretion and business decisions. Now, while we do have a policy for work from home, which is currently active, depending on the business situation going forward, there could be changes to this particular policy. So it all depends on the business that we are in and what we will be going through as well. If you all have any questions at any point of time, please feel free to ask. We are all here to answer that, the HCPs, HR, and L&OD. So while the presentation is on also, you can pose your questions in the chat box, or we are happy to hear you on the microphones as well. Now, while we have discussed people who are eligible, and of course, it's a business decision, it is not that throughout the time the person has to work from home. There are certain instances where the employee does get called to office. And for that, we have a slide. So maybe you can, looking at the pictures, there are some clues in the slide. Can you all put in the chat box, which are those instances when employees can be called to work from office? The clues are in the slide. Can you put in the chat box? When do you feel business can call back to work from office? So yes, Asmita is saying when there are business meetings, absolutely. So one of the picture talks about meetings. When your boss calls you for meetings or some team meetings or business meetings. Uh, Let me see who else has said. Then Nutan also has said meetings, presentations, if you have to make some important presentations. Irfan, very correct. Trainings, if there are trainings that you need to attend, then you will be called to office. So the first picture is welcome aboard, which means that initially when you join Infinix and if there are some induction, orientation, trainings, that's a time that we would like to see you in the office. The second picture, anybody can guess, it's a picture of a machine, a laptop, which seems to be malfunctioning or not, in full working condition. So which means that if the resources that you have are not working, are damaged, like the laptop in the picture, then you are required to come to work, which will enable you to work better and to be productive. System issues, yes. Even issues like electricity or your Wi-Fi suddenly is not working, then you would be required to come for those days to office so that you can work and not lose out on those days. The third picture is, of course, your training. The fourth picture, anybody can tell us about this circle which is there, which has a green, yellow, and red indicator, and the indicator is pointing towards red. Anybody can share what that means? So basically, it means if you're struggling with your work and the performance is dipping low, yes. A performance improvement plan, if you're under that, your manager would like to call you to office to be able to handhold you, to be able to guide you, and to enable you to perform better. So in case this happens, please look at it in a way that the organization wants to help you to do better, and that's why you need to come to office. The next picture, which has a sharp green arrow going up, any idea what that is? So if there is, Jayesh, quality issue, yes, in terms of performance quality, the green arrow going up is when the organization is ramping up in terms of manpower, business. We are getting a lot of clients with us, a lot of business. Then that may be the time also that we call you to office. The next picture is about meetings. And the last picture is, that is the resignation process. If anybody has put in their papers, it is mandatory that for the last 1 week of your work in Infinix, you would need to come physically to office to complete your process of FNF and giving back all the resources that you have taken, complete all the handover, etc. So that last 1 week, in case there is resignation, again, employees are required to come to office. So I hope with this, we are very clear that business can call at any time, and there could be a requirement where people are required to come to work and work with the managers. So these are those instances, and there could be other cases on a case-to-case basis as well. Now, for those who are working from home, let us share with all of you that it is just like any day, right? A work from home is a work day for everybody, for all the employees. And we have some lovely pictures on this slide of some of you who are working from home. It's a collage over here when we had the contest of work-life balance. So when we say work from home is just like a work day, we have to follow all protocols and norms just as if we would be working in office, right? If we were in the physical office, that's the same kind of protocol norms that we'll have to follow even when we are at our own home. So any idea what are some of the protocols you feel have to be followed? Can you put in the chat box? So while you put in the chat box, let me start and also share with you, which means that it's important to log in and log off at the regular work timings of your team, and not change those timings because you're at home. So when you log in, log off at the similar timing, that is your shift timing, it enables the whole team to perform well. Also, all of us need to be available for all kinds of meetings, calls, whenever it is there. If we have missed a call, it is etiquette and protocol to call back and revert to our managers. We also need to respond to emails on time within the SLAs. Be well connected with all the team, the managers, be available for the various huddles that are there, and basically for all kinds of meetings. So yes, Vinny, you're absolutely right. Be available on call during login hours. So always remember that those who are working from home, it is just like a normal work day, and we have to follow all the guidelines, the protocols, what your other colleagues who are there at work will also be following. Now, let me show you the next slide and give you two scenarios. Okay, now by the picture only you can make out which is a good scenario and which may not be a good scenario. So we have on the left-hand side is Rahul in the orange t-shirt, and on the right-hand side is Rohan. So which is a good scenario just by looking at the picture, Rahul or Rohan? Left is good. Okay, so is that Azra? So everybody's saying Rahul. Now, give me reasons. Why do you feel that Rohan's picture is not good and it's not an indicative of how a person should actually work from home? Why do you feel that Rohan's picture over here is not good? Any reasons coming up? Okay, Azra is saying messy. Rohan is looking messy. He doesn't seem to be concentrating. Shakir, yes. Nutan, you should be attentive while working. Whole mind should be available. Mindset, looking shabby. Absolutely right. So I think some differences are very stark over here. When we are working from home, there is an expectation that we are dressed appropriately because, as we said, it is a work day, right? So dress appropriately. Advisable not to just get out of bed and log on to your machines, because then your mind is not active, not fresh, right? So do your daily routine. If and it's good to do some exercises in the morning, do your daily routine, have a good breakfast, or whatever time shifts you're logging in, do your normal routine, and then be focused, get well dressed, be ready to give in your 100% at the job and at the workplace on your machines when you all are from home. The right side picture of Rohan is showing that even his hair is not combed, he's not wearing the correct attire as well, he's on the phone, so he appears distracted. So I think all these things, it's very clear to all of us that it has to be avoided. There will be a lot of temptations. Definitely, it's there. Temptations to do a lot of things while you are at work, but it is not as while you're at home, but it is not as per protocol, right? Okay, so what are the things that we need to follow? As discussed, we said attending meetings as per the requirement, be available whenever there are calls. And I would also say a good practice is to always revert to your manager on the work done. So your manager also has trust in you, has confidence in you that things are happening on time, things are happening as per protocol. Respond to all the SLAs, your emails that are there in the time that is expected from you. Be well connected with your teams. As we discussed, the time hours are important. If you are away from your machine for any kind of work which is not related to the office, please keep your managers informed. For example, sometimes there may be emergencies at your home, or sometimes they could some incidences could crop up which will not enable you to be on your machine. So in that case, you are required to talk and seek permission from your supervisor or from your manager. Keep all your resources also that you are given by the organization very clean, tidy, and ensure that it is in good working condition the way how it was given to you, which means that You should keep a dedicated place where you're working and not keep on shifting. Be careful about not eating or drinking in front of your laptops because the items could fall on your machines and could damage them. So you need to keep all the assets in good working conditions. Now, very important, the next slide is like a puzzle. Okay, it's a question. One picture will crop up, and when you look at it, just put in the chat box, what picture do you see? What can you see right now on the slide? Let's see who's the first person who answers. Very simple picture. Shreya, so Nutan wrote first, Nutan, Shreya wrote absolutely moon. Okay, now one more picture will come up. And with the second picture, this is a clue to a word. Let's see who gets the word. Yeah, it's a full moon. Second picture, can you make out what it is? With the second picture, this is the clue to a very important word. Moonlight, Chetan, Nutan. Yes, so there is a concept called moonlighting. Anybody knows what is moonlighting? It was there recently in the newspapers about certain organizations and controversies. Anybody knows what is moonlighting? Would you like to type in the chat box? Okay, so protocol demands that we should not engage in moonlighting. Yes, I don't know who the person is who's written Infosys because it's showing Pharmacy Guardian. But yeah, so when people are working from home, the work that you do is purely for Infinix because you are engaged with Infinix as a full-time employee, which means that you should not engage in any other work for any other organization, or even not engage in any other work which is not relating to Infinix, right? Opening another web page, looking at some e-commerce sites or any other sites, that is not as per protocol and guidelines. And the rules are common for everyone, whether they're working from office or working from home, which you need to follow. Another important aspect is also when we talk about the shift timings or the logging in and logging off, all of y'all need to follow the work from home tool or the tracker which is there, which should ideally pop up every time you start your machines. And you should be selecting the right option of when you are working from home. And this is a daily activity that needs to be done. At the same time, you also need to regularize your attendance on HR1. So two very important activities. And this is important for all of us because it gives us a lot of statistics and numbers by which the organization can take very important decisions. So it's important that you log off on your machines regularly after the day's shift, and the next morning you log on, which will enable this pop-up to come if you have downloaded the tracker. If you have not downloaded, it's crucial that you download this tracker. The next important slide, I would like you all to tell what does it mean. It's another clue. Just look at the slide and what does this mean? Very interesting. Anybody? Yeah, Sandeep, people are in the lobby. Let me admit. Only I can admit, is it? Okay. Thanks, Sandeep. Okay. Anybody? Let me check the chat box. Yeah, so Azra, work from home does not mean it's like a vacation. Yeah, so you're very close to that. Obviously, it's not a vacation. It cannot be even clubbed with a vacation. So there are instances where people want to travel, go and attend some function at another location and say that they will work from there. It's not possible to focus when you are traveling or when you have gone somewhere else. So the policy very clearly states you cannot club your working day with a holiday, with a vacation, with going out somewhere for a wedding or meeting somebody. Right? If those things need to be done, just like everybody else, you are expected to apply for a leave and plan your leave accordingly whenever you want to go for a holiday. So these are two different things that are happening. You need to, when you're working, it is from your designated home at that place. Please do not club it with any vacation or holiday. Okay, do talk to your manager about taking the requisite leaves. Now, there are also, for all employees who are working from home, there are some kind of benefits which are given to you as part of your salary, and that is mentioned on the slide. This is applicable for all associates and team coaches, wherein those who have their own machines, using their own machine, we say BYOD, bring your own device, they are getting 1,000 rupees as part of their monthly salary. And those who are working from home using company machine are getting 500 rupees. It's very important that if you're using your own machine, it is configured by Infinix IT department before you can use that. And it's also important that all the information that you have privy to, you have access to, it is company information, so absolutely confidential, which means that when you are working, that information should not be shared with anybody who is around you, or you're not allowed to send mails or information outside, because it is high risk, right? When your machine is not in the office premises. So in terms of benefits, you get some emoluments in your salary, but please be careful about configuring your machines with the IT department and safeguarding information. There are also other safeties that one needs to take, and make sure that you are saving all your files on a common source or a common drive, which is as per the company rules, that you are having a double factor authentication when you are logging in, which means you go through a particular server, it's asking you for your login password, and then again, there is a device wherein you will get a password again, probably on your mobile phone. So that's a double authentication. Be aware of uh, phishing attacks which are there, which means that some unknown communication or some mails you do not know the source from, do not click on any links which you are not very sure of, and don't trust those kind of emails or websites.
Ron, sorry to
Always,
interrupt. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
there are some more people in the
more.
lobby. Yeah.
Mhm. You are also not getting access. Actually, I've changed that. I've said allow everybody. Okay. Okay. So all those who are working from home have to follow all the IT guidelines, the instructions which keep coming for system updates, security patches, etc. Do be careful about printouts. If you are taking any printouts, it is very confidential. Do not leave papers lying here and there in your house. See that your machines are kept locked safely in dedicated places so that nobody else can also use the machines for any other personal work or activities. Keep locking your devices when you are moving away from it and not there. And please ensure that no kind of data is sent to any cloud or any other accounts, even personal email accounts, because it is all the property of the organization. So with that, my dear friends, we have shared with you the policy that is there in the organization, the do's and don'ts, and we want to enable all of you all to work extremely productively from the comforts of your home as well. So with that, we are open to any questions